Welcome to the SDA Housing Podcast, brought to you by NDIS Property Australia. Before starting this episode, we need to provide a general disclaimer. Information contained in this podcast is general in nature only. It does not take into account the objectives, financial situation, or needs of any particular person. You need to consider your financial situation and needs before making any decisions based on the information in this podcast. And you should consider seeking independent and professional advice for your personal circumstances. All right, let's begin.
Hello everyone, my name is Debbie. I'm from NDIS Property Australia, and you're listening to the SDA Housing Podcast, a show that explains, highlights, guides, and brings awareness about all things SDA in this ever-changing NDIS world. And I'm so excited today. We have a very special guest on the podcast. I don't know why we haven't got her on one of our episodes early. We've known you, Hong, for quite a few years now. But I would love to introduce Hong Knowling of PPC Urban. Welcome, Hong.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you for having me here.
Wonderful to have you. I'm just going to give everyone a little bit of a brief rundown of who you are, what you do, just to highlight how special you are in the industry. So Hong is a property and planning professional with over 20 years of experience across disability inclusive development, healthcare, childcare, seniors living and social infrastructure. She founded PPC Urban in 2017 to help investors know where to invest and where not to by de-risking decisions upfront and accelerating planning approvals through market feasibility, demographics and tailored town planning solutions. Hong is a board member of the Home Modifications Australia. That's the national peak body established by the Australian Federal Government for providers supporting older Australians and people with disabilities. And Hong was recently been nominated for the Women in Leadership Award by the Planning Institute of Australia. And I believe that award ceremony is coming up soon. Hopefully you win.
Thank you.
Would be wonderful.
Tomorrow morning, let's find that out.
Very imminent. So today Min actually caught up with you in Melbourne a few weeks back, and you ran him through your new data hub that you've got on your website, which is not just for SDA. It also touches on co-living, childcare, senior living and other emerging sectors. But you do have a significant component that is based around the SDA and NDIS disability housing data. So we thought this would be really good. Obviously, you've spoken at conferences we've been at. You've really talked to the data. I love the data. And I love the way that you bring all this together. So I really wanted to talk more about your data hub that PPC Urban has developed recently, and it's available for people to sign up and to subscribe to. So, Hong, can I ask you to walk us through how the idea for this data hub came to being?
Yeah, thank you, Debbie. That was a very lovely introduction. Thank you. So basically, I'm town planner and also has spent a lot of years doing market research type of works and economic assessment. When I established PPC Urban in 2017, we are just one of the consultants. We are helping the clients to de-risk their project through the integration or intersecting the planning, market feasibility, and investment strategies altogether. What we realized in last year or the year before, we feel there's a need to provide ongoing support for our investors, developers, investors, and service providers in a way that they can access the investment opportunity or untapped investment opportunities anywhere, anytime at a much affordable way. So that's how we started the data hub development. Of course, that took us a long time and a very costly exercise. But where we are now is this platform will integrate the sector supply, demand data, demographics and growth, and also we incorporating town planning requirements and accessibility And we're building our sector understanding information into that platform so that people can easily to interpret data at their own time, at their own pace. So that's the intention of how we create a data hub. Yeah.
Brilliant. So, and just to run through what the data hub is, basically, I'm on your website now looking at this. You've got an aged care free hub. You've got a child care free hub. You've got an SDA free hub, and you have an SDA paid hub. And that paid hub, I did have a look at it over the last few weeks. You gave me access. It draws on, obviously, the SDA demand, supply and demand data that the NDIS publish, but you go further than that. You bring it together, you create a real easy to understand tables and graphs of what that data means for any one particular region or area. But you've also gone a bit further with particularly the demand projections, I understand. Can you talk through that a bit?
Correct. So that's very good, very correct statement. Debbie, you had that before. So basically, our data is mostly informed by the NDIA data. In terms of projections, is how we do it is because NDIA actually they do a projections on a much larger regions on overall on everyone on registered with NDIA. So we look at the data, we understand their projections on based on their funding availability, and then we understand how many NDIS participants, not SDA participants, or NDIS participants for the next 10 years, but for a much larger region. And then we model that down to break into a much smaller, we call ABSS, statistical area level 3, which is half government area or the whole government area, depending on the density, right? So we bring the smaller area and then we break into the just focus on the SDA. So that gives our clients a more realistic projections or understanding which areas will have more participants than other areas, which means with a future growth, investment returns.
Yeah, and that's so important because the NDIS did put out their demand projections a few years back now. And as you said, they're on the larger...
way larger.
Geographical area. And, it was all well and good, but it really didn't mean anything. And I've tried different ways of modelling how you could sort of try to guesstimate, if you like, a smaller geographical area of demand. But I think you've got access to other tools that have made it far more realistic and likely accurate projections, which I think is so important for the sector because the NDIS, as much as they've said they're going to, give us better data for SDA, we haven't seen anything happen at all lately. I know that they did wrap up a data project recently, but I still don't see that they're going to put out for the general public the kind of concise information that is needed by planners these days and by developers looking at, we still have such a demand for SDA. And it's really difficult to understand where that really is, suburb by suburb basis. Correct. And it is tied in with the number of providers and the funding that participants have. So I think that is really useful information that you are providing there.
Yeah, thank you. That's what we are trying to add or give it the audience a different data set or different way to evaluate the opportunities, because I know there are some people in the markets, they are also try to interpret the data on the NDIA website. I would say, well, it is publicly available. It is not a perfect data, but it is the most reliable, available data that is given by the government. Yeah. So it's not perfect, I have to say. But there's a lot of people, they are in the sector, they try to understand the data, but they don't actually. So very funny thing, I've been trying to get the subscribers for our platform, the new platform we built, Data Hub. One of the potential clients, we had a meeting with her, and then she asked me, I met with this big provider, SDA provider, and then, but they have a very different data. My data shows 381 in this region, but their data was like 20, 30 people. What's went wrong? And I said, okay, let's use that case study. So we look at the region, we realize that the lady I'm talking to, and she's looking at the active NDIS participants, not SDA participants, right? So the level of understanding and the ability to interpret data is very different. So the data is publicly available, but how to interpret data and translate that into a useful investment decision tools is very different stories.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, you talked about marketing this hub for subscribers. Talk us through the hub. So you've got the free access for certain information, but then you've also got your paid hub. What is the difference, and what does the paid hub involve, and what are the costs and those sorts of things?
Sure. So we are trying the free hubs. At the moment, I highlight, we got the SDA free hub, and we also get a childcare free hub and aged care free hub. The reason we want to have a free hubs is because people need some help to get started, make life easier. So we have published the information online. Of course, it's a location, intelligent location information. You can use Google and find the information. It's a engine or powered by Google Maps, basically. So that will help the investor to have a quick start. And then we have a pay hub. Pay hub at the moment, we've got SDA pay hub fully functional. We have a childcare pay hub, which is in the trial, in the trial section now. So we developed it already. 80%, 90% there. We just need to make sure there's no bugs happening, and then all the calculations or everything's correct, perfect, as much as possible. So the pay hub will contain a lot more analytical information, and you will be able to use, for example, you will be given access to the interactive mapping platform and the dashboard. And in the mapping platform, you can literally, using different benchmarks, and understand which area has higher demand or greater untapped demand than other area. For example, we look at the participants' future growth numbers, as what we discussed before, and the current SDA participants' number at the sub level or 2 or 3 sub combined level, and how many of them are seeking accommodation right now. So even you're using different benchmark based on your individual investment strategies, and you will know the short-term, medium-term, long-term, which area you should focus on more. And of course, in that platform, you also have accessibility scores and the calculation. Other elements will help you to inform which areas that are more accessible, more attractive to hospitals. Hospital, you have a different ICU or emergency and different kind of services that is available. Dental, clinic, healthcare. We are building this platform. We are adding a lot more information as we go. But at the moment, what we described to you is already there in the system. And you can also go to the platform, which is the dashboard, that you can download the report. And download the report, you can look at it. You can send to your investor, send to your lender, for SDA providers. If you want to expand to the area that you're not familiar with, and then you can just look at those opportunities, right? So that's the pay hub has currently offer you. Yeah. In the meantime, we are also continuously to improve our system. For what I mean is, for example, right now we are looking at building activities at the sub level. Yeah. So and then we will try to identify class 3 building at a sub level where they clustered. How we can utilize the data to close the gap that the NDIS data has got.
So you're talking about the pipeline data essentially there.
Correct.
Under construction. That's likely to be SDA because class 3.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we are looking at that. We started with our backyard in Victoria. So we look at the building activity data, try to understand the usability of the data, reliability, the frequency that they uploaded every monthly, but how we can translate that and then group that up to a local level and then put on the website so people can have an easy access. So that is a question mark there. We're working on it. Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned developers, providers, and as well as just investors. So who is are those your main target market to become subscribers to your paid hub? Who is this really for?
Thanks, Debbie. That's very, very good questions. Our data hub will probably target more developers, investors who have a pipeline of the projects or are keen to invest in a reasonably amount of the sizable project, I should say. But we also providing the consultancy services for small operators, mom and dad, individual investors. What we do is we can do a consultant reports, and then we can help them to interpret data, and then we can hold their hands and translate the data into a easy digestible investment tools. Yeah. So to answer your question, we cover pretty much individual investors, fund managers, serious developers, or investors. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fantastic. And this is obviously for the SDA, but also for, as you roll out the aged care and the childcare hubs as well.
Correct.
That'll be who you're targeting, the developers doing a significant scale of developments in that sector.
Correct.
Yeah.
So childcare, healthcare, aged care, they are more sophisticated developers with a bigger fund. But we do have a co-living modules that we are working at the back end. Why we prioritize co-living, not co-working, my apologies. Co-living is because there's a synergies between the SDA housing and co-living. And so there's an opportunity that we could come up. Put it that way, when we do the market assessment, we are not just focusing, we are focusing on tap opportunities, the returns, the investment. But we also focus on exit strategies. When you can't lease the building out to SDA expecting the higher return, who else can you sell the building to? So in that exit strategy, in our pay hub, we will have providing you two elements. One element is people with some level of disabilities, but they are still working as with the incomes. And also that's one element. So there will be likely to be a first step of all the buyers who have a fund, who potentially have some funding and capable of paying the loan, but they're also needing that specialized housing. Yeah. And second element, which is a general market, and that will be falling to the co-living or roaming, probably won't be roaming housing in your case, will be a co-living 2 or 3 tenancy share together. Mm-hmm. So we are trying to, our platform, the next phase, we will building that platform into the SDA module, a pay hub, so that the developers, investors, when they look at the data, they can have a sophisticated or rather the investment strategy.
That's fantastic, because there is such a synergy between the two, SDA properties and co-living properties. And I've seen a little bit of people talking about the way that the properties can be made to be either or. And it makes a lot of sense.
Correct.
Totally. And there's such a growing demand for co-living, especially in a lot of growth areas around Australia, those suburbs where there's a lot of infrastructure development and people are looking for that kind of housing, potentially where SDA developments might look appealing, but may down the track be oversupplied, or it may just end up being an area that wasn't as ideal for SDA, or as you said, just as an exit strategy, just to have that safeguard.
Correct.
As having a plan B. I really love that idea. So what's the cost of this paid hub?
Yeah, so because we are just launched this platform, so we have a launching program that is offering to your audience here, Debbie. So what that means that we offer you a fixed price, annual contract, we're locking for 5 years. During the 5 years, you will be given full access to every single module we release. Yeah. So that's we have a number capped, okay, for that launching program, of course. But what that means, every dollar we're getting out from the launching program for the first subscribers, we call, and we will reinvest in the business, and then to make sure we can buy more data on the property data to build into the platform, for example. So in terms of pricing, what we are asking now is $1,000 a month and 12-month contract, and you will be given full straight away right now as we speak, the SDA and childcare. And then the launching members will be also given the opportunity to tell us what else they need. We prioritize it. We look after you. Yeah. So for example, if you come in the launching member council, so they want the co-living, We build a co-living module. We add as much as we can straight away. Yeah. So it's a benefit of doing that. And if you don't like the platform, you can just cancel that after a year. You don't have to continue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
If you just want to be a normal member, that you want to sign the 12-month contract, I think it's $750 a month for the SDA members only. Yeah. Yeah, 12 months. And if it's no contract, it's $1,000 just for SDA 1 month.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, just by month by month.
Yeah, you could do month by month.
Okay.
Yeah.
And look, you're getting, especially if you are looking at doing a number of projects or looking at different areas that you want to be doing developments in, but you need this information, you can access this data and just look anywhere in the country.
Correct.
Anywhere that you're interested in and have that right at your hand where you can do, as you said, all of the different criteria that you can select, choose to include, exclude, create the reports from it. So it's really quite powerful.
Yeah, thank you. And then, as I said, we look at our first subscribers and whatever information they need, we just build that in. For example, HK is pretty much ready to go. The dashboard is not built yet, but the mapping platform we already built. We had a project before recently. So every time we finish a project, we make sure we do Australia-wide and then we upload it. We're actually releasing some free information on the LinkedIn very soon. And then we will run a few campaigns. Each campaign will last 4 weeks. And we're inviting people to tell us which sector they are interested in or what information they want. And then we do a series of release of the information.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
All right. So obviously this is your data hub, which has been a big project for, I guess, the best part of last year, this last 12 months for you, Hong.
We didn't spend lots of time on this platform, and we're still improving it, but it's good. It's a coming alive. We had a few meetings with the larger operators in the market. We put in what the feedback we got. We beat every single other competitors in the market. Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah.
So does that leave you time to do your normal consultancy, town planning work?
Yeah, we have a team, so I don't do everything by myself. I have a team behind me supporting me. Yeah. I have a very good husband too, working closely with me.
That's wonderful. That's a fantastic relationship that the two of you can work so closely together and run this business.
Yeah, love and hate sometimes. It depends.
Yeah. So is there anything else that you wanted to touch on that we haven't? About your business, about the hub, about the SDA sector in general? Any insights that you wanted to just put out there?
I think one thing I didn't really mention or we didn't touch on is we actually have done some NDIS care research, needs. So we could depending on so many subsectors, right, in NDIS care. So we could add elements to our platform if people coming on board saying they need some more care data. Yeah. So even though our platform mostly is asset focused, commercial sector, but we also have some care data there. Yeah. That's one thing. And all our 3 hubs require you to register yourself. I think that you try that with the free hub as a registration, because that will allow us to follow up, to seek feedback with you as to what information and you need and how can we improve to make that more user interface better and more information added to the platform. That's about it. Just give it a try. Give it a try our free hub. $0.
Absolutely.
With our subscriptions, we are very flexible. We would like to talk to our potential subscribers to understand their project needs so that we can better tailor our scope and the information on Data Hub that is only needed by our subscribers, and we can get a better pricing for them.
Yeah, look, log in and register and play around with it and see if you like what you see. And then if you need more information, of course, you can contact Hong to have a walk through the system and see how it may be of use for you and your business. Hong, how can people best contact you?
Sure. You can find me on my mobile number. My mobile number is 0434 147 607, or you can go to our website, which is PPC Urban, urban.com.au. So it's Planning Property Consultant initial, PPC urban.com.au.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Hong. It's been an absolute pleasure to hear all about the hub that you're developing and your business. And hopefully we can touch base again down the track and see how things are going with this for you.
Yeah, thank you. And then maybe we do. Can I ask a question? Are you part of the SDA book that we 10-year writing?
Yes,
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, so we will be doing together. I'm also the author on the.
I'm one of the co-authors. That's right.
Yeah, I'm the co-author too. You have your part. I'm on the data side. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. So yeah, definitely, Hong, you are the data queen.
Thank you. Thank you. I do like my data in different sectors. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's fascinating. Well, thank you again for your time, and I hope that there are some of our listeners who got some good value out of this, and you'll be hearing from them to sign up for your hub, to at least to have a look at it and see if it's going to be of benefit.
Thank you so much, Debbie.
Okay, everyone, and we will see you next time. And that's all for today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please make sure you are subscribed and following us so you can keep in the loop with all of our upcoming episodes. We would really appreciate it if you could leave us a 5-star rating, a written review, and to share this podcast with those that could benefit. Until next time, catch you on the next episode.